What's up, guys? We are looking at about 8 days out from the Arnold right now, and energy levels is 100% shot. I'm running on fumes, but that's a good thing right now at this point. I feel like I was always once told that if you feel good, you don't look good, and I kind of think there's a theory that goes with that. When the body fat gets extremely low, your body's struggling to maintain, struggling to function. I'm not like, I'm not dead or anything like that, but definitely my energy's low, and I'm having a little bit of downtime, here and there on the couch. Let's put it that way. So, anyways, moving forward, I feel like I am dead on track. My weight predictions is exactly where I think they're going to be. I'm going to be 10 to 12 pounds heavier this year. My conditioning was already surpassed Orlando a little while back, so I'm good on that. I just feel like, this final week is just a matter of dialing things in, and as most of you guys know, I coach myself. And every coach, no matter how confident they are in their own work, is going to second guess from time to time. And I have second guessed myself a little bit here and a little bit there, but it is what it is. But I've done really good, and I think everything is right where it needs to be. But I know you guys have also heard that every prep is different, even if it's the same athlete. It's different. I've never competed in 2 shows back-to-back and had a similar prep. The cardio's been different every time. The food has been different. The amounts, the carb ups, the depletions. Everything is different. After having numerous conversations with Hani, he was explaining to me how Phil used to do like hour and a half of cardio, 2 hours a day, and now he doesn't do anywhere near that, for this past show. So every prep is different with every athlete, and this year has been a lot different. I've actually eaten a lot less food than I'm used to, which is kind of good. It's kind of bad because it kind of screws with my head a little bit because, at this point I'm ready to eat up, and having those huge carb meals last year was kind of a relief for me to know that I could eat that much food and wake up lighter sometimes the next day and just be better. My body this year, the metabolism has not been quite the same. On the flip side of that, I have not done near the volume of cardio either. So I feel like I've helped save my joints, and I've also saved my bank account and grocery bill by not eating as much as well. We're 8 days out now, so every single day things get watched very closely. I don't monitor my sodium yet. I don't even play with the sodium. The sodium will stay in most likely all the way to the show. If I play with it and if I need to play with it, then that'll be Thursday evening / Friday morning. And then I never cut sodium. I feel like when you cut sodium, you're going to flatten out. And that's just been a personal experience with me. And water, I've always gotten in around 2 gallons of water every day through prep. I don't really measure it or watch it, but the days that I have, it's been very consistent. I'm pretty much going through about 14 to 16 regular water bottles a day, so it stays consistent. And the carbs, this will probably be the first year that I actually do a slight bit of depletion, just because I want to make sure that whenever I carb up starting on Thursday, that I'm able to absorb everything and I'm full and I'm round and I don't want to spill over any. So that way, if I need to do a little more carbs, I can always do more. I just don't want to overshoot it. So this year, I'm actually going to be bringing them down a little bit. And this is completely abnormal for me because I normally don't do that. I've always been a guy who just continually eats more and more and more for like the last 2 or 3 weeks into the show. But I'm getting rid of the cardio. I did it this morning, and I'm probably going to cut that out Sunday. So we're around 6 days out. Let my legs be fully recuperated, no inflammation. I'm planning to bring some extremely deep lines in my legs this year. I've never had a problem with the detail, but I want to make sure that this year I want to separate myself from the rest of the pack. I want to be I walk on stage, I want to have that wow factor, that epic factor. So I'm going to be doing everything I can to make sure that my skin is see-through, come 8 more days. So pretty much each day is going to get played one by one, and training is going to get played one by one. Leg training will be stopping tomorrow, which is pretty standard for me as well. Cutting legs at 7 days out. So I'll just be training upper body next week, and probably kill my last session on probably Thursday. I'll hit a little bit of chest. Everything else will be upper body Sunday through Wednesday. And so there won't be any cardio will be done during that time. There won't need to be, because I feel like if you're not ready by 1 week out, you're probably not going to be ready. That's that. I'm going to be getting to Columbus on Wednesday, so I'll be shooting with Muscular Development on Thursday to let you guys see the last and final workout. It probably won't be anything. It won't be anything intriguing or firing. You're not going to see me, bench pressing 4 plates or anything like that, but it'll give you an example of just exactly how the last few days should look on your workouts. You don't need to be lifting the maximum poundage. The goal is to just try to keep the muscle as full as possible. And if there's one thing I've learned off watching videos over the years and just taking advice off the veterans, is now is the time that you have to stay injury-free. Not that I've ever had an injury, but it's something, I've listened to the advice, and I realize how detrimental that can be. And, I'm not going to be trying to do anything stupid or trying to impress anybody in a gym. I'm just going to go in, do my thing, and, I may do 80-pound dumbbell presses. To me, that's if that's what I feel like is enough, then that's what I feel like is enough. So, stay tuned. We will definitely be putting out a little bit more footage this week. I'm working on getting the Marksbury Farm video done for you guys. That was filmed, back over the summer, which will be very interesting for you guys to understand why I only eat grass-fed beef versus regular grain-fed beef. And this video is going to be very graphic when it comes to showing the carcasses of the animals. And you'll completely understand. And if you are so tight that you won't spend the extra money on grass-fed beef after watching this video, then I just feel bad for you. When you understand what you're putting into your body and how important that actually is. So this week is just going to stay. This week I'm just going to stay focused, keep my drive going. If I have to, I may have to watch a few Rocky movies, get my motivation up, maybe watch some Terminator movies, get pumped up for the Arnold. But, this is the final stretch, and here we go. Stay tuned, guys.